Who over here teaches maths to kids? Having any issues with that? Lot. Okay, good. Because what I've noticed over some time is that not just kids but university graduates struggle a lot with maths, right? So, you know, I work in a cybersecurity company, so we have to look at things in binary, right? Hexadecimal. So being comfortable with maths is a primary requirement. So, you know, over the period where I've interviewed people, I realized that there's a big problem here. In addition to that, I had, you know, at the CSK event earlier this year, I saw what the kids were trying to do in the maths Olympiad, and I could see them struggle pretty badly. And also the ESSA report for last year shows that there's a big problem here, right, with basic maths. So I started thinking about, you know, what can we do about this, because it's probably, yes, it's something to do with our education system, but I also feel that maybe we don't start early enough, because even if you teach them really well from the time they're in, you know, I don't know, grade 8 or grade 9 or something, you know, it's too late by that point. I think we need to inculcate something much earlier. So given that we want to focus on the younger people, right, let's get them into this a lot earlier, I thought about, you know, potentially having maths games, right? We want something that's going to keep people physically active. Little kids, they're going to be physically active. Give them an introduction to how numbers work. And so I thought I've so far come up with just a couple of games, right? So one game would be like hopscotch, right, where every square has a number on it from 0 to 9, right? And we'll have, you know, tokens. So, and see, one requirement is it's got to be active, it's got to be free, because if you want it to scale, and this is what I advertised to Ram, I said maths at scale. That's a great title, right? But actually, if you want to reap the demographic dividend, and even if you talk about this, you know, entrepreneurship scheme that was mentioned just now, if you don't have the maths basis, right, and you don't have logic, it's gone, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so we need to inculcate that. So the game is where, so because it's free, you can draw it on, you know, ground somewhere. You draw the squares, you put the numbers, and you have something like tokens, which would be pieces of stick or stones or something like that, right? So each kid would just have to, and this is the most basic version of the game, each kid would sort of, you know, step from 0 onto every different number in order, and if they get the number wrong, they have to pay the penalty of the number on the square, right? And for every number they get right, they pick up the token. So that means that you learn about the numbers, you learn about addition, and you learn about subtraction, because if you get it wrong, then you have to pay the penalty, and if you don't have enough in your hand, then you're out of that turn, right? So we can start with basically 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we can have, you know, just even numbers, odd numbers, prime numbers, you name it, right? So that's one game, and then if everyone does really well, you can time it as well, you know, who did it fastest, whatever. The second game is like darts. Does anyone know darts? Right, so you've got to hit, you know, it's target practice, right? But kids can't be exposed to sharp objects. And also, I don't know if you know about this, but a cork board is actually really expensive, right? So we said, okay, fine, you know, what else can we do? So I said, okay, fine, can we draw a semicircle, right, on the ground again? And you have concentric semicircles, right, which keeps going outwards, and you have, you know, numbers from, again, you're standing on 0, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 10, right? And you start counting down from something like 300. So you have something called a target stone or something, and you're going to flick it up and into the biggest number you can find with three of these sort of target stones, right? So each one has a go of 3, where you keep counting, I'm out of time actually, but you keep counting down from that 300 or something until you hit 0, right? But it's not as simple as hitting 0. You've got to hit 0 with a certain order of events, let's say, right? So you may need to have 3 of your stones on 3 different numbers to hit, to check out, so to speak, to actually have an exit. So I thought that if you have some games like this, then people start getting really into it. Right? These are only 2 games I've got at the moment, but I'm thinking of different ways, and if you guys have ideas, and please share them with me. Last month I went to TFI school at Tanderpet. I spoke to 2 boys, and they immediately got it. They said they're going to try it out with the little kids in class 6. I've given these games to Avishkar as well. I've given it to Math Buddy and said, please try it out. The best way is to try it out and see what happens, right? If people struggle, or we can improve the game, then that's fine. So someone asked me, do I want to sell the game? I said, no, I don't want to sell the game. And I've actually got a full-time job, which is pretty well paid. I want every single child in this country to be really good with maths, right? And I want to do that for free. If I get that, I can give up the job. I don't need the money, right? So if you can manage to do that, that's my goal.